Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to talk to a local dance company, David Riddick / Beauty for Ashes. You're both, aren't you, David?
Yes, we are.
We've talked before, and you have just grown tremendously. And you've got students that were in New York part of the summer. And I mean, tell me some of the new things that you've been doing.
Wow. So yeah, it has been a while since I've been here, but our growth has really been good. We sent some girls off to Dance Theater of Harlem and Joffrey Ballet for their summer intensive. They stayed the whole 5 weeks. They really did a good job. They had a really wonderful time.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The youngest we had was about 8 years old. She was accepted into the ballet division for Dance Theater of Harlem. So it was really a good experience for them. Then our company, which is Riddick Dance had a special invite from the Kennedy Center in July.
Wow, I did not know about that. That is exciting. What did you do?
Yes, so we were asked to come up and perform. It was a big festival that happens around this time in July, at the end of July. My DC consultant had called me and said, I think this would be great for you guys to come up and be invited to come in. And we had to submit all of our pieces, and all of the background of it. We performed Troubles of This World by Mahalia Jackson. It's one of our staple pieces that we performed at the American Theater. We premiered it there first. It's a part of the King Project. And we had standing ovation and asked to come back up into DC and do some more work. So we are very excited about that.
That is really wonderful. What a great platform for boys and girls to learn dance and to discipline and all the other things that come, music and everything else that comes along with it.
Yeah, it was really a good experience. And now the company is back on stage. We'll be at the American Theater October the 28th. That's a Friday. We'll be back there. We'll be premiering a new work with our guest choreographer that's coming out of New York City. I will be bringing back a section that I did called Minds. I'm revamping it. So we're very excited about that. And then some of our other new things we have an international tour that we will be a part of. It's a 5-city tour in Europe.
Oh my gosh.
So we're very excited about that. On top of our State of the Virginia tour, we'll be out in Martinsville for about a week performing for the youth and teaching them some of our repertoire from the Riddick Dance Company. And then we finish it out in March going back into the American Theater with one of our new premiere works called Sermon. And that is a very powerful piece, which is a collaborative effort as well.
That is amazing, and what growth. And how good for, a smaller town like Martinsville to be able to probably can't sustain as much on its own, but to be able to have you parachute in and stay for a week and work with those kids, that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be reaching middle school. I think it's elementary and middle school. And we're doing back-to-back performances with a gallery performance to kind of culminate the evening. And then we rest for a day, and then we come back here to Hampton.
That is awesome. So tell me, how dance can transform a young person.
Dance can transform you from the areas.
Person, but sorry.
No, you're fine. It can transform you from the place of therapeutic. It gives you confidence. It gives you a lot of awareness. Even if you're not going to make it a career, it gives you a lot of structure and discipline and clarity and outlook. Even in your educational realm, you can go to school and be an entertainment lawyer. You can be physical therapist. You could be a teacher, the standard, right? However, it can transform you from the inside and out. And a lot of times, if you are an artist, whether you're in music, dancing, theater, you're light years ahead sometimes because some of the roles that you have to play, whether you have had that experience or not in life, you just have to commit to it and you have to do it. So it really propels you in the world, especially I would say in today's world, because everything is going technology. So you can really showcase yourself. TikTok, anything digital, you can really get out there and you can be a film crew. Like, you can really become more than just a dancer. You could be so multifaceted in this world. It's just having a discipline and, I say, the longevity to see it through.
Yeah, because you have to either, stick with it to really improve.
Yes.
Well, also, it is a physical exercise, so it is good for these days where we have too many couch potatoes
Yes.
in this country, among our kids as well, but also that sort of control over your own body that you would learn.
Yeah, I would say from the health and fitness point of view, dancers will usually, if you're in a professional company, you dance typically a 40-hour week. A student, most of my students are 15 hours a week, maybe 21, depending on the program. And if you're going in the summertime, then you're actually performing in the summer. Like our company, we performed in the summertime a lot. And we had a performance just in September, like 2 weeks ago. So it really keeps you on your toes. You have to have self-control. But there's always a healthy way of, I don't like to call it binging. If you like potato chips, you like potato chips. If you like Snickers bars, you like Snickers bars. You can have them. It's just your consumption of how much you consume. But the dancing part is really a physical sport. Dance is a physical sport.
It's very physical. Well, you also got a grant from the city recently to work with youth who maybe live in a violence-prone neighborhood or who are a little bit at risk. Tell us about that.
So the Youth Violence Prevention Grant, we received it one time before, a few years back prior to COVID. And at that time, it was for African drumming, learning the djembe drum. Now this year, they will come in and do the congas. My thing is, drumming is a conversation. So at our school, we're just not dancing, but we also have music. We have voice, we have piano, and then we have African drumming. And now we go into Latin America from the conga. And so we want to teach the youth, instead of have an alternate route of how to have a conversation, I would say it like that. When you look up drumming, a lot of times the drummers are having conversations backwards and forwards. You're having a dialogue. You have to repeat the rhythm. You have to hear the rhythm. You have to understand it. That is a conversation, and hopefully through the drumming, it will teach youth how to have conversation and how to resolve issues without sometimes using violence. And it's just another outlet and a resource, and it also taps into them. Hey, one day I can go into the community and I can give back and I can help another young youth not to go down this path, or I can also be a teacher. I can be a master drummer from this program, and that turns into a career, which is always three-pronged for me. You want to be able to teach someone, give them the access, and then hopefully it channels them to take it further, whether they want to go into the community and volunteer or whether they want to turn it into a career.
Well, that's really fascinating, and I want to come back to that for a second. My thought was, that drumming, like dancing, is an outlet for excess energy, and it's a productive outlet, and it's, a good way. But this idea of drumming as a conversation, I am fascinated by, because kids, most young people, not all, have a hard time talking about their emotions.
Yes.
And they keep a lot bottled up. So how does drumming become a conversation?
So it goes all the way back into Africa, really. When they started, when the villages had issues, the men will come out and they will bring the drum and they will have a conversation with the djembe drum. The music is like a food to the soul. If you look at the things that kind of go around, entertainment, food, and healthcare, those are the three things, no matter what happens in the world, those are the three industries that always boom, and they stay very consistent and very stable. So what happens with the conversation, our drummer, whoever our master drummer is at that time that is teaching the youth, they build a rapport that is totally separate that I may have with the youth. I am coming in from an executive director's point of view. There is a need. We have a program. Let's facilitate it, and here is a curriculum that I have to go along with it. When the drummers come in, I want them to have a personal relationship with them. So as they're talking, they are pouring into them words of affirmation, inspiring them. And through the drum, unknowingly, you will hear kids say, oh, I can't do this. And you're like, no, why can't you do this? And they'll go into some issue or something or someone that told them why they cannot do it. And then the teacher will come in, the director will come in and reinforce, you can do it. That is how a conversation happens. But then as you progress, we give them stage opportunity to perform. And I think through the performance, it builds another outlook for them. Like, wow, I have accomplished something and I can do this. And from there, they have become the teacher's, like, I would say like best friend, but they look up to the teacher as a hero instead of being on the defense. So conversations happen very small, but then they grow into these larger expansions of conversation.
But conversation within the drums. So maybe it is one of those things that is less, I mean, obviously you do the rehearsed performances as well, but it has an interpretive component or whatever, a little bit like, jazz or a little freeform where they can also kind of learn to do that on their own.
So
that's so cool.
It's cool. So when they come in, I have rhythms that I would like the drummers, to teach them, right? Mm-hmm. And one of how you first start a conversation is you have to listen to hear and listen to understand. So the drummer is going to play a rhythm. You have to do a call and response. They call it, you respond back. That's the first part of conversation. Then you go into, well, what do you think about that? Then you're having a conversation with your mind, body, and spirit, because you have to get your hands correctly. They have to place right. And then you have to go into your mind and your spirit to be able to project that, to respond it back. So you're really looking at, I call it a 360 of a conversation, because the drums, or I would say entertainment, helps break down barriers and have those tough conversations. But it's not like directly like you would go into a counseling session.
Right.
It's done through an activity, and through the activity, all these other things will start to come out. All these ray of colors, I call them, will start to come out.
Yeah, because you're sharing something.
You're sharing.
And that builds trust, that builds a common theme around things. Yep. I love it. I mean, I knew dance did that, but I hadn't really thought kids are interested in such a variety of things. And this is one way to keep them off the electronics, off the streets, and really focused on something that they can learn and create and take with them.
Yeah, that's a very... Basically, in a nutshell.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we close, David, is there anything else you want to add about what your company, your dance studio, all the other things you have going on has to say?
Yes. Come check us out at the American Theater, October 28th at 8 p.m. Buy your tickets at the American Theater at the hamptonarts.net. We also have a gala that is coming up. It's our masquerade launch party. You come, it's going to be a masquerade party, and it's going to be really fun. And our mission this year is, our theme is Access 2.0. Not our theme, but what our target mission is, Access 2.0, reaching out to 80 families or 80 children to, I would say youth, to give them the full exposure of arts. Because sometimes everyone does not have that resource available to them. Tickets are $50. It'll be at 34 East Mellon Street. Come out. It will start roughly about 6 or 7 o'clock, and it'll go probably about 9:30. It's going to be really, really nice. Come out and give back to the kids. It's a sponsorship gala. So
this is sort of your nonprofit arm, where you can go out and reach students who otherwise maybe couldn't get to you, don't have the resources, whatever.
Yes, that's the goal.
Well, fabulous. Let me just ask you, ballpark, how many young people do you work with in a year? I mean, it's really grown, right?
Yes. Oh. In a year, because outside of here, I do other work in Atlanta and some other places.
Oh, that's right.
In New York City, I do work. So I am multitasking a lot of times. Mentoring, so I wouldn't know the number, but it's pretty much up there, because I have mentees that will call me and ask me questions, and I will help them out. And some, I say, they're in different states.
Wow, that's really impressive. Well, thank you so much, and thank you again for choosing Hampton.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching. I think there are so many ways that we can reach the young people of today, and using drumming, using dance is one of those ways, and we in Hampton are happy to support that. Thanks for watching.